What is happening? What is happening? It's your boy Project Builds. Today is the day that I introduce you guys to the newest project to the channel. Please welcome the CXRS, the Corolla Xrs 2005 2ZZ. I picked this vehicle up roughly about 2 weeks ago, and I pretty much just started immediately ordering new parts for it. Parts aren't expensive, not as expensive as this damn thing over here. But for the most part, I just recently took off the valve cover, so that way I can go ahead and replace these, which those in the Toyota community, 2ZZ community knows that these are the lift bolts. Usually these get a little damaged, and once they get damaged or worn, you can't go into lift. So that was another thing that I recently researched on, and said, you know what, might as well pop off the valve cover. I'm already going to be replacing the valve cover gasket, so why not replace the lift bolts? I'll be replacing the tensioner as soon as that gets in. Cleaned up the throttle body. I ordered a bunch of brand new hoses, so I'm trying to actually do everything within before I actually go and get the car smogged. Once I get the car smogged, then that's when the build process will officially start. But let's go ahead and kind of give you guys a little introduction. So yes, this is a 2005 Corolla Xrs. Body isn't in perfect condition, I must say, but it's in okay condition. So we'll kind of go over that once we actually get to that particular section. But it does actually come with some Celica GT wheels and tires. So these are brand new tires that the previous owner recently added on before he actually sold the vehicle to me. But let's just move on over to the interior. So the interior it was pretty well kept up. It does need some vacuuming, of course. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it doesn't need vacuuming. It does need some vacuuming, but there isn't really any like rips and tears. You got that little smidget right there, but for 2005 and pretty good condition interior, I really can't complain. I did replace the shift knob, so the old school Corolla Xrs shift knob has been replaced with a 1.5 pound weighted shift knob. I also took out the double DIN screen. I did not like the double DIN screen. I did not like the look. And then upon further inspection, I noticed that there was a bunch of wires and everything that was connected to the radio and then battery. So it appears that maybe the previous owner, which was an older gentleman, by the way, may have actually had a sub, because there was speaker wires that ran all the way to the trunk. So I'm assuming that was in reference to a sub. But check this out, you guys. This was a speaker wire that, there was all types of wires. There's this, clearly this is something for an amp. And then plus all the other miscellaneous trash and everything that I've been locating throughout the course of cleaning out this vehicle for the past 2 weeks. But outside of that, interior is clean. Doesn't really have any, blemishes and things of that nature. I will be replacing the head unit with an Android touchscreen unit that I did see. So that is definitely going to be on the wish list. But as of right now, let's kind of just take a look at the body. So as far as the fenders, not really too much going on right here. It does have a slight little dent right here. But as we kind of move along, this is where the problem arises. So the rear door, it appears that the previous owner either hit some type of pole or something, like backed into a pole, because the damage is literally right here, like waist level. So I got a whole bunch of dents, and it appears that maybe he tried to fix it himself, whatever the situation may be. Luckily, it did not affect the rear, ram and suspension components. That would have been disastrous. I probably wouldn't even picked it up. I don't care how rare this vehicle is. If it has any type of rear suspension damage, framework damage, things of that nature, I would not have picked this vehicle up. But luckily, it did not. So it is still a clean title vehicle. So I'm assuming he probably hit a pole and then tried to actually correct it. But that's okay. I did contact my body man, and he gave me a great quote. So new paint job is going to be coming soon. Stay tuned for that. But it is missing a rear spat right here. So that I will probably be going to the junkyard and picking up one rear spat, since the other one is still there. Paint blemishes, of course, from 2005 just sitting. Now I did have these funky, ugly, you know what? I think I still have them. Of course, this was the primary car for the channel, but it's taking a break because it's getting ready to go upgraded. Stage 2 turbos, full E85 fuel system. But look at these. Look at these right here. That was the first thing that I snatched off the vehicle as soon as I picked up the vehicle. Those had to go. So I immediately went searching for the stock ones, picked up the stock ones pretty much within days of, you know, picking up this vehicle. But outside of that, yeah, you can still kind of see like the body lines and paint blemishes right here. Like I said, it does come with Celica GT wheels and tires. They're brand new. Those will be coming off. I'll be replacing those with the Scion TCs. So those will probably be the next things that are going on there, along with the rotors and the brake pads. But for the most part, the car is in pretty decent shape. Lift was hitting hard before I basically took everything off, and then that's when I started noticing a few broken components. We'll take a walk over here real quick and kind of show you guys. So this is what I was actually working with. So this is part of the emission pipe that actually connects over here. And then it runs back, and then it's supposed to connect to the valve cover. Well, Lord and behold, when I actually, you know, further inspection underneath the hood, this was broken. All they did was tape this up with some electrical tape and called it a day. So that was a red flag for me. Luckily, there was no damaged components or anything like that. I did order a new PCV valve. So that is actually in route, chain tensioner, all of that. And then pretty much what is notorious for failures for these vehicles is the oil pump. So I did order a brand new oil pump. It's coming from Monkey Wrench Racing. I'm actually going to get the billet, you know, as far as the spindles and things of that nature. So then that way, because this is a high revving engine, those in the community know the 2GZ, it pretty much is a high revving engine. So if I plan on putting in some work, I got to go ahead and start from the ground up. So luckily, you know, I've been talking to a few of the heavy hitters in the community and on YouTube, such as like Sebash. And he had informed me that he hasn't seen any problems with the actual chain and the guides. And now, you know, further inspection, the chain does actually appear to be tight and stiff. So definitely no issues there, but that chain tensioner is gone. The O-ring is just completely gone, so it's definitely leaking oil. So I got to go ahead and replace that. I'll be replacing the timing cover gasket, and then also I'll probably get on over to this side. I already took off the lift screen and cleaned that up, so that was another thing that I went ahead and had to clean up before, you know, really going into this build process, because this is, you know, definitely a car that I wanted back in the early 2000s, but you could just never find one. So I was, you know, in the search of a good daily, especially since I knew that this one right here was going to be down for quite some time, especially with going upgraded turbos and things of that nature. So that one I had to just kind of just store away and just kind of let that one, you know, kind of sit for a little bit until, you know, my appointment comes. And then once my appointment comes, and pure stage 2s, full-fledged build. But, you know, having conversations with my cousins, things of that nature, we know that once we start doing some of those things, there's no point of return at that point. It's either you're going full send, or you're just going to stop doing what you're doing, because then you're going to transition on over to a full-on race car. So as for me, it's full send. Screw it. You know, I got people calling me out and things of that nature. So hey, screw it, full send. Let's go. Let's line them up. I don't really care. But as of this, I definitely want you guys to, you know, follow the build process, man. This is a brand new chassis, brand new build for me. I never really touched into as far as the 2ZZ. I did back in the day in 2003. I had a Matrix XRS, but it wasn't, let's say, beefed up. I really didn't know what I had. So now with the Corolla XRS, please stay tuned. Definitely go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It's your boy Nails, and we are out.